Welcome to the next lecture on entrepreneurship. In this lecture, we are going to see some of the important points of the entire syllabus of the B.Tech 6th semester subject entrepreneurship. So let us start. When we see the concept of entrepreneurship, we see entrepreneurship and enterprise. The enterprise is the outcome. The person who takes the initiative is known as entrepreneur, and the process or action followed to create an enterprise is known as entrepreneurship. So let us define the word entrepreneur and its definition. So derived from the French word entreprendre, which means to undertake, that is, individuals who undertake the risk of new enterprise. It first appeared in the French language in the beginning of 16th century, coined by Richard Cantillon, an Irishman living in France. So, an entrepreneur is a person responsible for setting up a business or an enterprise. He is one or she is one who creates a new business in the face of risk and uncertainty for the purpose of achieving profit. This is very much of importance and growth by identifying significant opportunities and assembling the necessary resources to capitalize on them. So, entrepreneur is one who takes a risk and creates or sets up a new business or an enterprise. So let us see. Develops and owns his own enterprise, moderate risk taker, works under uncertainty for achievement of the goals, innovative, creates something new, product or service or new form of organization, is a persuader of a deviant pursuits, think differently, reflects a strong urge to be independent, persistently tries to do something better, is dissatisfied with routine activities, that is, the normal activities, he creates some new things, is prepared to withstand the hard life. For success, he has to work hard, is determined but patient, exhibits a sense of leadership, exhibits a sense of competitiveness, takes personal responsibility, is oriented towards the future, tends to persist in the face of adversity. Entrepreneurship, it is the ability of a person to minimize the use of resources and to put them into the process and get the maximum benefit out of it. He or she should take into consideration, what are the consideration? Quality, excellence, and consumer awareness for the sustainability of the business. How the business is going to survive if he or she is not considering the quality, the excellence, or the consumer awareness. Therefore, entrepreneurship is the product of teamwork and ability of an entrepreneur to create, build, and work as a team. So, teamwork is an essential part of entrepreneurship. Let us see characteristics. Innovation, the essence of entrepreneurship. So, innovation is at the core of the entrepreneurship. Economic activity builds a great ecosystem for employment generation and industrialization. Creation of value, risk bearing approach, dynamic process, special skills and leadership, human relations, need for entrepreneurship, lifeline of a nation. Because if we are going to create new employment opportunities, so definitely you are going to add value in the life standard of the citizens. Okay, so provides innovation, change of growth, inclusive growth, increased profits, employment opportunities, social benefits. Now, coming on to the process of entrepreneurship, first one is the self discovery, realizing one's potential, identifying the opportunities, generating and evaluating ideas, then planning, then raising startup capital, startup growth phase, and then harvest. Why it is important? plays an important role in the creation and growth of businesses, also in the growth and prosperity of regions and nations. Opportunity to create your own destiny by identifying your own potential and skills, opportunity to make a difference, opportunity to reach your full potential, opportunity to reap impressive profits, opportunity to contribute to society and be recognized for your efforts, opportunity to do what you enjoy and have fun at it. You can start your or convert your idea into reality, and the thing that you like, you can do business on that. Entrepreneurship, an inside entrepreneur or an entrepreneur within a large firm who uses entrepreneurial skills without incurring the risk associated with those activities. So, inside the large organization or firm, a person who creates a new type of business unit or new type of idea. So, entrepreneurs are usually employees within a company who are assigned a special idea or project and are instructed to develop the project like an entrepreneur would. Okay, so entrepreneurs usually have the resources and capabilities of the firm at their disposal. The entrepreneur's main job is to turn that special idea or project into a profitable venture for the company. Why it is important? It is the best way to retain talented staff. Otherwise, most of them will just quit and develop these ideas on their own. So, to retain the talented staff, it is necessary. It will be a win-win situation for both the organization and the talented employee. Business. Let us define. It is an example of an organizational system where economic resources, that is input, are transformed by various business processes that we call processing into goods and services, and this is nothing but the output. Okay, now see the competitive forces existing in the business scenario: bargaining power of customers, bargaining power of suppliers, rivalry of competitors, threat of new entrant, threat of substitute. Now, how we are going to make the competitive advantage? By using these competitive strategies, that is differentiation, cost leadership, innovation, growth, and making alliances. Fine. So differentiation means something creating a new different variant of existing product or services. Cost leadership strives for the minimum cost for a particular product or for a particular service. Innovation, something creating new. Growth and alliances are for the same competitive strategy. Okay. Next, value chain. A value chain is a set of activities that an organization carries out to create value for its customers. Porter proposed a general purpose value chain that companies can use to examine all of their activities and see how they are connected. Let us see the Porter's value chain. Here you can see primary activities and support activities. What are the primary activities? So, inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, service, and the support activities are nothing but procurement, human resource management, technology development, firm infrastructure, and that will create a margin for a particular company. Now, types of entrepreneurs. There are various classification. See the Hobbes classification on the types of business according to use of technology, according to motivation, according to stages of the development. Let us see innovative entrepreneur, who creates something new, product, new services, or new form of organization of doing business. So he or she is called innovative entrepreneur. Adaptive or imitative, those who imitate the innovations. Fabian, those who see the benefits out of innovation and they are likely to do the business. Drone, they are now nothing, doing nothing for the new innovation. They are traditional, having traditional approach and stick to their business, even they incur loss. Okay, now on the type of business, business entrepreneur, trading entrepreneur, industrial entrepreneur, corporate and agricultural entrepreneur. Those who are involved in agricultural sector, making use of mechanization in the form of something, creating new type of businesses by using latest technologies. Corporate meaning what? They organize, they use their skills to manage the business in a large form. Industrial, they create the industry unit. Trading, they get the basic things from manufacturing unit and they are involved in trading. And business entrepreneur is nothing but they create the businesses, okay, according to use of technology. Either they use the technical things or skills or otherwise not. So technical entrepreneur and non-technical entrepreneur. Spontaneous, induced or motivated. So spontaneous for self realization of a particular person's skills and all those things. Spontaneous entrepreneurs are there. Induced, something that a government or the organizations induced, motivate a particular entrepreneur to start business. Motivated, those who see that they have the ability to perform their business are motivated entrepreneurs. According to stage of development, those who create the business at their own risk and they are the first one, the first generation. Inherited or the second generation means what? The ancestors have created the business, the first generation, and they are following that. Okay, third generation is their grandparents have created the business and they are inheriting the same thing. Okay, now, feasibility study. A feasibility study can be defined as a controlled process for identifying problems and opportunities, determining objectives, describing situations, defining successful outcomes, and assessing the range of cost and benefits associated with several alternatives for solving a particular problem. Okay, how these study are going to help? List in detail all the things that they need to make the business work. Identify logistical and other business related problems and solutions. Develop marketing strategies to convince a bank or investor that their business is worth considering as an investment, and serve as a solid foundation for developing their business plan. Now, what are the elements of a business plan? The objectives, strategies, customer scenario, market segments, products and services to be offered, sales forecast, steps required to attain the objectives, distribution system, promotional activities, pricing decisions. So, what exactly a business plan is? A business plan is nothing but a written summary of various elements involved in starting a new enterprise, of how the business will organize its resources to meet its goals and how it will measure progress. Okay, what are the purposes that a business plan serves? Provides a blueprint of actions to be taken in future, guides the entrepreneur in raising the factors of productions, that is land, labor, capital. Okay, serves as a guide to organizing and directing the activities of the business venture, helps in measuring the progress of the venture at successive stages, communicates to investors, lenders, suppliers, etc., initiating the programs of the business. Now, coming on to the capital. It is a crucial element in the process of creating new ventures. Yet, raising the money to launch a new business venture has always been a challenge for entrepreneurs. So, entrepreneurs, especially those in less glamorous industries or those just starting out, face difficulty finding outside sources of financing. Lack of capital is an impediment to the growth of the companies. Okay, so the key is to learn or to manage capital carefully, and knowing the right kind of capital to raise for the right needs of your business. So let us see difference between equity and debt capital. Equity capital represents the personal investment of the owner or owners in a business and is sometimes called risk capital, because these investors assume the primary risk of losing their funds if the business fails. Okay, so equity capital is nothing but personal type of investment. Debt capital is the financing an entrepreneur borrows and must repay with interest. Okay, what are the advantage of equity? It does not have to repay like a loan does. Equity investors are entitled to share in the company's earning if there are any, and usually have a voice in the company's future direction. What are the sources? Personal savings, friends and family members, crowdfunding, accelerators, angels investors, venture capital companies, corporate venture capital, public stock sales. Let us see one by one. So the first place entrepreneurs should look for the startup money is in their own pocket, means self savings. Okay, it is the least expensive source of funds available. A startup has very little finance in any financial history. The investors view investment in early stage of company as high risk. So one has to start with his own or her own savings. Okay, therefore, the earlier in the life of the company that an entrepreneur must raise capital, the more he or she will likely have to give up in the ownership to secure that financing. Okay, entrepreneurs apparently see the benefits of self sufficiency, tapping their personal savings and using creative low cost startup methods, a technique known as bootstrapping is one of the most common source of funds used to start a business. So if you are bootstrapping, you are using your own or personal savings to start a business. Okay, next we go to for money for friends and family members. The second place most entrepreneurs look is to friend and family members who might be willing to invest in or lend to a business venture. Okay, because of their relationships with the founder, these people are most likely to invest. Often they are more patient than other outside investors and are less meddlesome in business affairs, but not always than many other types of investors. Okay, now crowdfunding. If we raise fund with the group of a particular person with the help of technology, that is internet and social networking, then we are talking about crowdfunding. Okay, it has been used to help raise money to support social causes, help fund aspirant artists, or support local small business starters. The money received from crowdfunding had to be considered a contribution or a donation rather than investment. Accelerators are nothing but these programs who try to support the startup in a later phase to being sustained. Okay, so programs often sponsored by communities or universities that provide a small amount of seed capital and wealth of additional support for a startup company. Okay, these offer a structured program that lasts from 3 months to 1 year. A select group of entrepreneurs, typically 10 to 20, are invited to participate as a group in an accelerator program. It provides entrepreneurs with about, if we talk about US standard, up to $25,000 in seed capital, gives them temporary space to work on their business and their elevator pitch, and connect them with a team of mentors who each get a small share of equity in the business in return for their guidance. Okay, now coming on to the angel investors, these are the private individuals who have the surplus money and want to invest in a particular business. So when we look into our own pocket, convincing friends and relatives and many entrepreneurs that find that still they are lacking in the money, so they turn for angel investors. Okay, that is the private investors. These are wealthy individuals and often entrepreneurs themselves who are accredited investors and choose to invest their own money in business startups in exchange for equity stakes in the company. Angel investors have provided much needed capital to entrepreneurs for many years. Now, venture capital companies are private for profit organizations that assemble pools of capital and then use them to purchase equity positions in young businesses. They believe have high growth and high profit potential, and if they are convinced, then they are going to invest, producing annual returns of 300 to 500% within 5 to 7 years. If that criteria has been satisfied, then venture capital companies are going to invest. Okay, if you say 100 business plans come in, 10 are a good fit, promising they are going to get a close look, and one gets funded. So this is the business funnel plan, that how investment is going to take place. Now, corporate venture capital. Large corporations have gotten into the business of financing small companies and invest in businesses for both strategic and financial reason. More than 300 large corporations across the globe, including Google, BMW, Comcast, Amazon, Qualcomm, Intel, General Electric, all those have invested in small companies. Usually they are in the later stage of growth because of their maturity are less risky. Now going public. In some cases, companies can go public by selling shares of stock to outside investor. How this can be done? By offering IPO, that is initial public offers. Okay. Lease financing, one of the important term. A lease is a contractual agreement whereby one party, that is the owner of an asset, grants the other party the right to use the asset in return for a periodic payment. In other words, it is a renting of an asset for some specified period. The owner of the asset is called lessor, while the party that uses the asset is known as lessee. The lessee pays a fixed periodic amount called lease rental to the lessor for the use of the asset. So this is nothing but a rental type of agreement. Okay. Ownership determines the authority and responsibility of the owners. The legal form of business ownership is called the form of business ownership. The other parties recognize an enterprise and its existence through its form. Choosing the appropriate form for any entrepreneurial activity is very crucial, as the success of enterprise depends on the selection of form of business ownership. The form of business ownership defines the rights and liabilities of entrepreneurs, control, lifespan, and financial structure, etc. Now, what are the factors? How you are going to choose a particular form of business? So, the determinants of choice of form of business ownership: nature of entrepreneurial activity, size of business, degree of control expected by an entrepreneur, requirement of finance or capital, legal formalities, ease of formation, extent of liability of entrepreneur, stability of business, secrecy of business information, winding up formalities. Okay. Now business ownership we can classify into two part: non-corporate and corporate forms. Let us see what are these form of business ownership. Sole proprietorship or sole trade, joint Hindu family business, partnership firm, LLP, limited liability partnership, joint stock companies, public and private, one person company or OPC, cooperative societies and or enterprises. So we can classify them into non-corporate and corporate firms. So sole trade, joint Hindu family business, partnership firm are non-corporate firms, while LLP, joint stock company, one person company or cooperative society are kept under corporate firms. Intellectual property rights. These are nothing but legal rights that protect creations and or inventions resulting from intellectual activity in the industrial, scientific, literary or artistic fields. Why it is important? Encourage creation of new path-breaking inventions, incentivizes inventors, authors, creators, etc. for their work, allows the work created by a person to be distributed and communicated to the public only with his or her permission. Therefore, it helps in the prevention of loss of income. It helps authors, creators, developers, and owners to get recognition for their works. Some of the important legislation: Trademark Act 1999, the Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999, Design Act 2000, the Patents Act 2005, the Copyright Amendment Act 2012, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act 2001. Important contributions of MSME sector: micro, small, medium enterprises. The contribution of these industries to the balanced regional development of our country is noteworthy. The small industries in the India account for 95% of industrial units in the country. Okay, so MSME are the second largest employers of human resources after agriculture. They provide ample opportunities for employment. Okay, so MSME in our country supply an enormous variety of products, which includes mass consumption goods, ready-made garments, hosiery goods, stationery items, soaps and detergents, and so on. Okay, MSME which produces simple products using simple technology and depend on locally available resources, both material and labor, can be set up anywhere in the country. So we can reap the benefits of industrialization at any part of our country. MSME provide ample opportunities for entrepreneurship. They have low cost of operations, so anybody can start the business. MSME also advantage the enjoy the advantage of low cost of productions because all the resources are available locally, the skills and the raw materials. Due to the small size of the organization, quick and timely decision can be taken without consulting many people as it happens in large size organizations. So timely decision is one of the important advantage for the MSME. We can summarize that entrepreneurship may be defined as a systematic innovation which consists of the purposeful and organized search for changes and a systematic analysis of the opportunities that such change might offer for economic and social transformation. And we have seen the various characteristics of entrepreneurship, what are the skills needed for an entrepreneur, how business plan is going to be created, how one can carry out the feasibility study, what are the ways to raise fund for a particular startup or a new business. We can go for equity, we can go for debt where commercial banks can be considered for short term loan or long term loan. So in this way we are going to think of entrepreneurship as a process where a person creates something new, innovates, transforms his or her idea into reality. Wish you very best of luck for your exam. The books referred are as such. Thank you for watching this video.